Hi everyone, Katie Sutton, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy and the New Earth Now School with your July 2023 energy update. I've got 3 themes that are important that I'd like to share with you this month. The first is liberation energy, the second is surpassing your ancestors, and the third is claiming your full expression. All right, everybody, we are here in July. As I am recording this, it is a full moon time here, and the energies are pretty interesting, to say the least. I hope that you had a really good and fruitful June. June was very much about integrating all of the amazing things that we learned in May, and I will tell you, it did not disappoint on my side. So many amazing ahas and quite a lot of energy to integrate. And so as we move into July, we have a very different set of frequencies and vibrations that are coming in. And it's Independence Day here soon in the States. And so the very first theme that I want to talk with you about is the theme of liberation energy. So when we talk about freedom, we talk about liberation, we talk about moving forward. One of the things that is very top of mind as the guides have been sharing energy with me and themes with me this month is this idea of becoming unstuck. So what I am seeing as our first theme of the month is that we are going to be working through some energies that are going to be asking us to look at the places where we have thought that we have been stuck, where we have felt like we have been lacking freedom, we have been restricted, and be willing to lean into that energy just a little bit so that we can liberate ourselves. And so this dynamic is one of needing to work with this restrictive energy, needing to work with these places where we are feeling stuck and lean into what that energy is trying to tell us, what stories are buried there, what things have happened that might have created a belief that we can't move beyond a certain thing or a certain situation, and how can we liberate ourselves. So many times we are looking for liberation energy and places outside of us to fix us, to help us to get unstuck. And this is really about continuing with a little bit more of that inward energy that we anchored into in June, and dropping into where in my life do I feel like I am not moving forward? And what is that about? Why am I stuck in these energies, or do I perceive that I am stuck in these energies? And how can I begin to move forward? And this is not a forcing energy. This is very much a being with these places and feeling all of the emotions and the things that get activated in you when you tune into these places where you feel stuck, right? Maybe there's a situation or a relationship or dynamic in your life where you have been going in a loop for quite some time, and maybe you've been blaming the circumstances outside of yourself on this. This energy is very much about moving out of victim into being your own liberator, okay? So as we work here in the States, especially with all this freedom energy and the true meaning of what that means here on this planet, which is, I believe, personal freedom, individual freedom of expression and being, we are being asked to really look within and do the work that we need to be with the energies and the places where we are stuck so that we can liberate ourselves. So that is our first theme, okay? That takes me into our next theme, and this one is quite interesting. It has been coming up in a lot of my sessions, and I've been pondering this energy theme for quite some time because I find that we have a lot of charge around it. So the second theme is surpassing your ancestors. So one of the things that I hear quite a lot in the collective is a lot of complaining, I'll say that, about how this generation, the younger people that are coming up right now, that are waking up into their full expression, growing up right now, are really entitled. I hear that a lot on the news. I hear a lot of people talking about it on social media. A lot of the older generation feeling like the younger generation is very entitled. And it really bothers me because I work with a lot of people who are younger than me. I am almost 40, but I have a lot of clients in their 20s, and I am constantly amazed at how in tune they are with their emotions and their beliefs and their values and how they are really trying to create something different on this planet, and how much shame they carry because they are not being seen in this true light. They are really being shamed and told that they are entitled because they are wanting more from their life than maybe what their parents or their grandparents had, and they are standing up for that, and they are making changes based on that. And I think that this energy theme of surpassing your ancestors is very much tied to this pattern that I'm seeing, where we're judging the younger generations and saying they have it easy. And when I sit with this energy, it feels to me like we should want that. Right? That we should want those that come after us to have it a little easier than we did, right? We would want the next generation to have it easier than we did. And so one of the things that I'm seeing with this theme of surpassing your ancestors is that we are individually working on letting go of guilt and shame for moving beyond the template that our parents and our grandparents gave us. As I've been working with clients on this theme leading into this month, what I have noticed is that there's a lot of guilt and shame and sometimes even fear about moving beyond ancestral patterns or belief systems that we were raised in to claim something new that might be more in alignment with our truth. And sometimes we can be afraid to let go of a belief or a thought process or a pattern just because we have been in a place of being raised within that pattern, and we are afraid that we will alienate our family members. We are afraid we will separate too much from the pack, so to speak, and that we will be alone, that we will be abandoned, and we will be rejected. So this theme of surpassing your ancestors is stepping into a willingness to move beyond the template that you were given. And I feel like this is a very global theme. I feel like humanity has been given some very distinct operating rules that we've been playing by for a very long time. And it is time that we step into a place of empowerment and begin to create the future for ourselves that we've always wanted, instead of just anchoring into what has already been created. So this idea of surpassing your ancestors is a liberating theme, right? To play on that word that we were just talking about. This is a theme of freedom. This is a theme of liberation. This is a theme of empowerment. This is a theme of you claiming your life in your own way. It is so important, I think, to honor our ancestors and to be grateful for the sacrifices that happened to get us to where we are today. But if we are constantly looking back and only in the honoring space, and we are not claiming this next chapter, these new beginnings, then we're never going to be able to build the new earth that we are all dreaming into being together. Okay, so this theme of surpassing your ancestors is so important, and I do think that we're going to be doing a lot of clearing of some very old stories, some very old ancestral stories again this month. Every few months you might notice that we get into this ancestral clearing energy. So if you've been called to do some work to honor your ancestors, to support your ancestors in healing, do that this month, right? Really maybe building an altar, doing some offerings to the earth, doing some other practices with your ancestral energy. Honor all of that, but also let them know, hey, I am here because of you, and because of that, I'm going to claim an even better future for myself. This is an important energy, and if I really look at what this country here in the United States was founded on, it is this idea that you can always do better than the generation before you. You can always do better than what you were handed. And I think we have fallen away from that. We have lost sight of that a good bit here in the United States especially, and I'm sure in other places around the world. And so this is the month, right? This is the month to start claiming the full power of who you are. And so that takes me into our third theme this month, which is claiming your full expression. And it is very much tied into what I was just discussing, right? One of the things that I have been working with personally is drawing in more of my I am presence, more of my multidimensionality, more of my higher self into my current expression, or at least being open to drawing more of that in. And always doing my shadow work to draw those parts of me that I personally maybe have rejected back to myself. And so this theme of claiming your full expression is really about moving beyond rejection energy. I witness that so many of us are playing so small and not fully expressing the truth of who we are because we have so much fear that we will be rejected or abandoned. And so we are dimming our lights, we are not shining as brightly as we could be, and we are certainly not using our voice and our being to express our true creative energy in the world. And so this theme of claiming your full expression is moving beyond and healing those rejection wounds so that you can fully claim your authentic self out into the world, and you can be less afraid of expressing that, even if people do not agree with it or people don't understand it, still being in that place of I'm expressing because this is my truth and this is what feels good. And as long as I'm not creating harm for anybody, I am allowed to be me. So this third theme is about empowering yourself to be your true authentic self and bringing the totality of your being to the table. And what I'm noticing is that the back half of this year, we've been working so much in the beginning of the year on embodying and being more present in our body. And that is creating a framework for us to have a greater root system buried in the earth that we're going to be able to use to channel more light and more of our own personal power and expression into our bodies. And so I think in the back half of this month, you're going to have a little bit of forward momentum energy to maybe get some things done that you've been procrastinating and feeling afraid to put out there. You're going to have this momentum to be able to take a chance on yourself and put yourself out into the world. And so claiming your full expression is just that. And before you even take any action on it, it is important to be willing to open to more of your truth to come into your being. And so for some of you, it may look like just being more in tune with parts of you that you've left behind or parts of you that you've been rejecting all along and welcoming them back to the table to be a part of your expression in maybe very subtle ways at first. And I think throughout the back half of the year, we're going to see a lot more of us stepping into more and more expression. One of the things that we worked on last month was this idea of taking a brave new leap forward. And I see this energy theme building on that, right? Not being afraid to put yourself out there, not being afraid to be vulnerable, not being afraid to communicate to those around you and really hold your truth. So that third theme, claiming your full expression, super, super important as we move here into July. And we will be focused on that third theme in Healing Circle this month. So next Wednesday, July 12th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we will be focused on this theme of claiming your expression. And the main thing that we'll be healing in that particular healing circle is the rejection wound. So however you've been rejected in this lifetime, however you've been rejecting yourself, that's what we're going to be working to heal in that healing circle next Wednesday, July 12th. So take heed of these themes this month and really make sure that you are carving out some time to honor these energies and to be with your full expression and to do what lights you up, okay? That's going to help you get the most out of this very powerful month. Lots of astrological things going on. It's going to be a big month, everybody. So hang on, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.